Hello everyone, welcome to the session. Good evening, how are you all doing? Let's take about 2 or 3 minutes. Let's wait for everyone to join and then we proceed. All right, then we start the session. Let's wait for 2 or 3 minutes. Let's wait for 2 or 3 minutes. Come on everyone, let's join in. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Let everyone come in. Hi. Come on everyone, let's wait for another minute. Let's wait for another minute. Come on, let's wait for another minute. Come on everyone, quickly join in. Okay, another minute and then we start off. Alright, welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform that gives you a world of courses, resources, content, live and recorded sessions to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Also, welcome to Crack CA Exams with Us, which is a vertical and channel of Unacademy that caters to the students of CA Foundation and Intermediate in their journey and pursuit of preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination by providing top educators, quality content, and overall a great learning experience. So come, let's crack CA exams with Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Welcome to the session once again. Before we proceed, a brief introduction about the educator today. Hello, I'm Prathik Gupta. I am a Bachelor of Commerce from Christ College, Bangalore University. I am an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, an associate member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, an associate member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, as also a law graduate from Karnataka State Law University. I am currently a practicing chartered accountant and also a visiting faculty for CA subjects and an educator for CA students, both offline and online. Prior to starting on my own, I worked with SR Butley Boy and Associates, that is the Indian member firm of Ernst & Young Global in the Audit and Assurance Department. Then I went on to work with Ernst & Young India, EY India, in the Mergers and Acquisitions Department. And then finally I went on to work with the Manipal Group in Bangalore as the corporate controller of their Indian entity as well as their German subsidiary located in Frankfurt, Germany. It was only after I got back from Frankfurt, Germany that I decided to start something on my own, and that gave me an opportunity to also become an educator, which in turn has given me this opportunity today to be able to take this session for you young, fine and bright CA aspirants. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I hope you find the session useful. Anytime during the session, in case you have any questions, queries, observations or discussions to be made, please do not hesitate to drop in a line and I will be happy to take up the matter for problem solving or for discussion purposes, as the case may be, as soon as possible. I would also like to draw your attention to my name, which is Prathik Gupta, Prathik Gupta. It's Prathik with an H. Now why I'm insisting and stressing on my spelling is because a lot of people misspell my name, due to which they are unable to find my numerous number of YouTube sessions as well as on the YouTube channel as well as my special classes on the Unacademy Learning App. So with my name, that is Prathik Gupta, you can look me up on the YouTube channel of Unacademy as well as the Unacademy Learning App, and you can find my hundreds of hours of sessions that I've taken there, which will benefit the students of the CA Foundation and the intermediate examinations in their preparations. Alright, so please go through them, and in case after going through them you have any questions or queries, you can always come back to me. Now, like I told you, the Unacademy caters to you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate Examination through 3 platforms, that is YouTube, Special and the Plus platform. Now, YouTube and Special classes are absolutely free of cost, but they provide immense amount of value and resources to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate Examinations. YouTube is what you're watching right now, which is on the YouTube channel. You just go there and type in Prathik Gupta, Prathik Gupta, and you'll see the hundreds of hours of sessions that I've taken there, which will help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate Examinations. Special classes are available on the Unacademy Learning App. They are also absolutely free of cost, but they provide you enormous resources for your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate Examination. The Plus platform of Unacademy is the premium platform of Unacademy, that is a payment-based subscription model which has various subscription packages for the various examinations, which I will tell you further. In this slide, I will tell you why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy. The first reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the daily live classes it provides, where you get to chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts and answer polls. All this while the class is going on. Yes, you heard it right. All this while the class is going on. You don't need to wait for the end of the class. You do not need to wait for a couple of hours after the class. Neither do you need to wait for a couple of days after the class or the weekend after the class. You also don't need to wait to fix up an appointment with your educator to clear your doubts. You can clear your doubts and have discussion with the educator on real-time basis when the class is going on. It is as simple as you putting your hand up in a live classroom, and your educator will be happy to take up the matter for problem solving or for discussion purposes, as the case may be. The second reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the live tests and quizzes it conducts on a regular and periodic basis, which helps to evaluate your preparation and also get detailed analysis of your performance. Now you might be wondering why this evaluation of your preparation and detailed analysis of your performance is important. So let me tell you that when you're preparing for a professional examination, it becomes very important for you to take a stock of your preparation from time to time to know where you stand in terms of your preparation. That is, which areas you're prepared, which areas you need more preparation, and which areas you might require external help. So basically, the Plus platform of Unacademy breaks down. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I've got a cold. So basically, the Plus platform of Unacademy helps to break down your preparation into 3 areas, that is your strong areas, your not so strong areas and your weak areas, so that whatever limited preparation time you have, you can spend that time on those three areas accordingly. In the sense, more time on your weak areas, a little lesser time on your not so strong areas, and less time on your strong areas, until a time is reached when your weak areas and your not so strong areas eventually become your strong areas. The third reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the structured courses it provides, as all our courses are structured in line with your exam syllabus to help you best prepare for it, which simply means that all the courses, Plus courses on the Plus platform, are prepared keeping in mind your exam syllabus, so that once you complete a Plus course on the Plus platform, you can rest assured that you have completed the syllabus of your examination without missing out on any important or major point. And lastly, and most importantly, the reason I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the unlimited access it provides. That is, one subscription gets you access to all our live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your devices, which simply means that the one subscription to the Plus platform gets you access to all the live and recorded courses on the Unacademy platform. That is your live and recorded Plus courses, live and recorded special classes. And you can watch all these live and recorded special classes and live and recorded Plus courses from the comfort of any of your devices, like your mobile phone, tablet, laptop, or your desktop, as the case may be, without any restrictions. You can also view these sessions, live and recorded sessions, 24/7 without any timing restrictions, like 10 to 4, 10 to 5, 10 to 6. There are no restrictions like that whatsoever. Whenever you want, you can just pull out your mobile phone, log into the Unacademy Learning App, and start your preparations. Another feature is you can view these live and recorded sessions from any location, that is, whether you're at home, whether you're in college or office, or you are traveling from home to college office, or from college office to home, or you're waiting for someone for a meeting, or you're in your native place, or you're simply on a vacation and you want to refer something, or you want to prepare. You can pull out your mobile phone, log into the Unacademy Learning App, and start your preparation without any hesitation or problem. All you require is an internet connection or a good data plan, which all of us are blessed with today. So keeping all these advantages among many other advantages in mind, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become a part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible, in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and intermediate examinations. Alright, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Alright, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Please take another 30 seconds. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Okay, any questions, please ask me. Okay, so let's move on. So in the previous slide, you heard me say this a lot: live and recorded Plus courses, live and recorded special classes. So you might be wondering, where do you find all these live and recorded Plus courses and live and recorded special classes? So let me tell you that you find it on an app known as the Unacademy Learning App. So for all of you who have downloaded the Unacademy Learning App and are using it, I thank you very much, and I request your support in the future as well. And for those of you who have not yet downloaded the Unacademy Learning App, I request you to go to the Play Store on your mobile phone, log into Download the Unacademy Learning App, install the Unacademy Learning App on your phone, put in your mobile number where you will be asked, where you will get an OTP. Using that OTP, you can register on the Unacademy Learning App. It's as simple as this with no lengthy or complicated procedures. Now you might ask me, okay, you have downloaded the Unacademy Learning App, you've installed it, you've registered on it using the mobile number and OTP, so what? So let me tell you that the Unacademy Learning App gives you access to all the live and recorded special classes that Unacademy has to offer to you to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. And it gives you access to all the live and recorded plus courses that Unacademy has to offer to you to help you accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. So keeping these in mind, I request you to download the Unacademy Learning App on your phones, install it, put in your mobile number where you will get an OTP, and using that OTP you can register on the Unacademy Learning App. It's as simple as that. And I also request, and you can do that in order to make use of the world of resources that the Unacademy Learning App provides to you to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. And I also request you to help to spread the word around, to help the people around you know about the Unacademy Learning App, help them download and install the Unacademy Learning App on their phones, help them register on it using their mobile numbers and the OTP so that they too can make use of the world of resources that Unacademy provides to everyone to help them in their preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Alright, and during the process, if you have any problems, you can always chat with us and we will provide you the relevant solution as soon as possible. Please take about 30 seconds, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Alright, any questions, please ask. Please take 30 seconds, then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. This is about the Unacademy Learning App and the special classes which are absolutely free of cost. Okay, now this is an important slide. Like I told you, the Plus platform of Unacademy is the premium platform of Unacademy that is a payment-based subscription model and which provides various subscription packages for the various examinations. So accordingly, the CA Foundation and Intermediate subscription packages provided by the Plus platform of Unacademy are as follows. The packages provided are for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months and 24 months. The 1 month package will cost you rupees 3,500. The 3 months package will cost you rupees 8,750. The 6 month package will cost you rupees 14,000. The 12 months package will cost you rupees 17,500. And the 24 months package will cost you rupees 21,000. Now please remember, all these are the listed prices. So before you make the payment for the package of your choice, please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. I repeat, please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. So the after discount price of the various packages are as follows. The 1 month package will cost you rupees 3,150. The 3 month package will cost you rupees 7,875. The 6 months package will cost you rupees 12,600. The 12 months package will cost you rupees 15,750. And the 24 months package will cost you rupees 18,900. So you see, immediately you get a discount or savings of 10% when you use my code Prathik. Now, I will personally recommend you to start off with the 12 months or 24 months packages at least for the following two reasons. Firstly, it is cost effective. If you compare the 1 month package cost and compare it with the per month cost of the 12 months and 24 months package, you will see that you're getting great cost savings almost immediately. And secondly, and most importantly, since the CA Foundation and intermediate courses are provided to you in one package, a 12-month or a 24-month package will be highly beneficial to you because it covers the duration of both your courses, that is the CA Foundation and intermediate examination, which normally take a minimum of about 12 months for you to prepare and clear. So if you're getting a package that is 12 months or 24 months package that covers the entire duration of both your courses, that is CA Foundation and intermediate, at a very cost-effective price, I think that is a very good deal. But having said this, you're free to choose the package of your choice. But before you make the payment, please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. I repeat, please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount on the above listed price. You can also make use of the low-cost EMI option available for the 6 months, 12 months and 24 months packages, just in case you do not wish to make the entire payment at one shot. The payment options available to you are debit card, credit card and internet banking, and also all the coins that you've accumulated by watching the special classes can be redeemed while making the payment for the Plus course. So keeping all these advantages, these offers, these incentives in mind and discounts in mind, and also the advantages that I told you in the previous slide in mind, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and intermediate examinations. Alright, please take about a minute, go through this slide. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Take about 30 seconds more. Any questions, please ask me. Sorry, I've got a cold. Any questions, please ask. Okay, so like I told you, the Unacademy Learning App gives you access to all the live and recorded special classes. Here are the snapshots of few of the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning App, which you will find useful in your preparation for the CA Foundation and intermediate examinations. There are special class on revision test papers, Sale of Goods Act, the Indian Contracts Act, the Companies Act, Fundamentals of Accounting, Retirement of Partner, Admission of Partner, Death of Partner, valuation of inventories, revision on final accounts of non-manufacturing entities, revision on sale of goods on approval or return basis, and many more. So I request you to log into the Unacademy Learning App, go to my profile, Prathik Gupta, Prathik, and you can see the hundreds of hours of the special classes that I've taken on the Unacademy Learning App, which you will find useful in your preparation for the CA Foundation and intermediate examinations. Please take 30 seconds, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask me. All right. And here are the links to a few of the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning App. You can either click on these links or you can copy and paste these links on your browser to take you directly to the special class on the Unacademy Learning App. There is special class on the Indian Contracts Act, the Sale of Goods Act, the Indian Partnership Act, the Limited Liability Partnership Act, the Companies Act, Basics of Communication, Accounting Concepts, and Revision Test Papers, May 2020, and many other revision test papers. So like I said earlier, please log on to the Unacademy Learning App, go to my profile, and you will see the hundreds of hours of special classes that I've conducted there, which you will find useful. Also, I request you to go to the YouTube channel of Unacademy, go to my profile, and you'll see all my sessions there as well, which will help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and intermediate examinations. All right, please take about 30 seconds, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Okay, any questions? Okay, let's start off. So let's look at discussion on essential elements of a valid contract, and this is part of the Indian Contracts Act 1872. Okay, so this is the discussion on the essential elements of a valid contract. Now please remember, this topic is very important because a lot of direct questions as well as a lot of case laws are asked on this topic. Okay, so please pay attention and we will discuss everything in detail. Okay, now let's quickly look at the essential elements of a valid contract. The essential elements of a valid contract are: firstly, there should be a proper offer and acceptance. Now, for any contract to come into existence, there should be an offer. An offer is made by a person who wants to enter into a contract. Let's say I make this offer to you saying that, would you like to buy my laptop for 10,000 rupees? That's an offer made to you. Okay, and acceptance. Now you can say no. If you say no, the offer is lapsed and everything. But if you say yes, then a contract comes into existence. Okay, so there should be a proper offer and proper acceptance. Even for a proper offer and acceptance, there are various rules which we will know. Okay. Okay, so for the proper acceptance and offer and acceptance, also there are rules which we will talk about as we come to them. Okay, so if you have any, okay. All right, okay. So that's the legal rules of an offer, that an offer should be absolutely given with an intention. Must be given with an intention to create a legal relationship. Any offer which is just given just like that, that is not a ideal offer. Okay, and an offer should be definite. Matlab, it should not be vague. The one who's getting it should be clearly told as to whatever is your offer. Would you like to buy my laptop for 10,000? That's a definite offer. There is a difference between offer, invitation to offer, and invitation to sale. Okay, so obviously, see, an offer is, would you like to buy something for some price? That's an offer. Invitation to offer is, I'm planning to buy. I'm planning to sell my table for so and so. Okay, so in case you know any buyer, please let me know. That's an invitation to offer. That means you want to know who all or how many people are ready to buy your product and at what price. Okay, then you have an invitation to sale is, okay, I'm planning to sell this. Would I'm just planning to sell this. So, are you interested? That kind of a thing without the price. So, there is always a difference between offer, invitation to offer, and invitation to sale. There should always be a difference. Then, offer must be communicated. Communication of offer is complete only when it reaches the person to whom it is made. So an offer can be specific offer or a general offer. If I'm making it to 100 people, it is a general offer. But if I'm making it to one specific person, then that is a specific offer. And an offer is complete only when it reaches the person for whom it is intended. Okay? And a mere statement of price is not an offer. I am planning to sell my laptop for 10,000. That's a mere statement of price. It's not an offer. It's not been made to anyone, so there is no acceptance that will happen. Please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions? Please ask me. Any questions? Please ask. Please take 2 minutes. Any questions? Please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions? Please ask. Take about 30 seconds more. All right, let's proceed. Legal rules for acceptance. So like we have rules for offer, we have legal rules for acceptance as well. First of all, acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. Would you like to buy my laptop for 10,000? Yes. So the answer should be the yes or no. But if I say, yes, I can buy it, but it is not, but I'll buy it for 7,000. So that's not an acceptance. That's not a valid acceptance. That's a counter offer. Okay, so acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. There should be no conditions attached. Yes, I will buy your laptop, but you should buy my bike. That's a conditional acceptance. That's not valid. Okay, acceptance must be given as per the mode prescribed by the offerer. So let's say if I have said that would you like to buy my laptop for 10,000, and I asked you to give your acceptance by way of WhatsApp, then the offeree has to accept by the way of WhatsApp. If he sends me an email or if he calls me up and tells me, that's not a valid acceptance. Acceptance must be given before the lapse of time or within reasonable time. If I say that the acceptance has to be within 2 days of the offer, then within 2 days from the offer, when the offer is made, the offeree should make the acceptance. In case he doesn't, then the offer will lapse. The acceptance may be given by any person in case of general offer. So if I've given an offer to say 100 people in a crowd, then any one of them can give an acceptance because it is a general offer. Acceptance must be given by the person to whom the offer is made or an authorized person. So if it is a specific offer, that if I've made it to a specific person, then the specific person only has to give his acceptance and no one else. Alright, so in a general offer anyone can give it, but in a specific offer only the person to whom it is made has to give his acceptance. Acceptance must be communicated just by thinking in your head, okay, I will buy the laptop. That is not a valid acceptance. The acceptance has to be communicated to me that yes, I will buy your laptop for 10,000 rupees. In case the acceptance is not communicated, it is not a valid acceptance. Mental acceptance is no acceptance, or acceptance must not be derived from silence. So like I told you, if I've just thought about the acceptance, that's not a valid form of acceptance, and it needs to be communicated to the person making the offer. Only then it is a valid acceptance. An acceptance must not be precedent to offer. That means first there should be an offer and then an acceptance. Acceptance can never be before an offer. So this sequence has to be maintained. Please take about a minute or two, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, any questions, please ask me. Please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Please take about a minute more. Carefully go through this. Come on, 30 seconds more. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, let's proceed. Now, legal relationship. This is an important statement. Agreement plus legal obligation. That means any agreement that is enforceable by law becomes a contract. Okay, so any agreement that is not enforceable by law does not become an agreement. So agreement plus legal obligation, that is enforceability at law, is equal to a contract. Okay, now it should be, the acceptance should be absolute and unqualified. The manner of acceptance, if the manner is mentioned, if the offerer makes a description of the manner in which the acceptance should be made, then the acceptance has to be made in that manner itself. If it has to be communicated within the particular time, if the offerer has given some time, then the acceptance has to be communicated within that time. If it is not, then it lapses. By whom? By the person to whom the offer is made. If it's a specific person, if it's a specific offer, then to the specific person. If it's a general offer, then to anyone to whom the general offer is made, and it should be made or communicated to the person who's made the offer. If the acceptance is not communicated to the person who's made the offer, then there is no point. Then before the lapse of the offer. So if there's time mentioned, it is before the lapse of time. Alright, please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask me. Take about 30 seconds more. Okay, free consent. So now this is a second essential of a valid contract. Okay, the first one was valid offer and acceptance, and now we go to free consent. This is very important from the exam point of view as well. Section 13 of the Indian Contracts Act defines consent as two or more persons are said to consent when they agree upon the same thing in the same sense. According to section 14, consent is said to be free when it is not caused by. Okay, so any consent given is said to be free when it is not caused by coercion, undue influence, fraud, or misrepresentation. Now, what is coercion? Coercion means if I blackmail you, saying that if you do not say yes to my offer, I will murder you, or I will kidnap you, or I will harm you, that is, do any act that is punishable under Indian Penal Code, then that is coercion. Then your consent is not said to be free consent. Okay, that is, we'll talk about each of these in detail. Undue influence is when there is a relationship between the buyer and seller in such a that one person can dominate the will of the other. Then that is known as undue influence. Let's say a father and son. So the father can emotionally blackmail the son and make him change his decision or take his consent. Okay, like emotional blackmail or something like that, or threaten him. So that is called undue influence. Fraud means when you do any fraudulent transaction or you do any transaction with the whole idea of cheating someone or deceiving someone, then that is known as fraud. And if anyone's consent is obtained by fraud, then that agreement is void absolutely. And misrepresentation is misrepresenting or falsely or wrongly talking about certain facts which you believe to be true, but in fact they are not true. Okay, please take about 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. We discuss each of these things in detail. Any questions, please ask. Please take a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, let's proceed. Now let's look at what is coercion, the first one. According to section 15, coercion means committing or threatening to commit any act forbidden by the Indian Penal Code, that is IPC 1860, or unlawful detaining or threatening to detain any persons or property with a view to enter into an agreement. So basically, if you obtain the consent of someone by threatening them or threatening to detain them or by threatening to commit any act forbidden by the Indian Penal Code 1860, then that consent is said to be obtained by coercion, and it is a voidable contract. It is immaterial whether the IPC is or not enforced where the coercion is employed. The threat amounting to coercion need not necessarily be from a party to a contract. It may also proceed from a stranger to a contract. So it's not necessary that coercion has to be done by a party to a contract, A and B. It can come from C as well, where A has hired C to come and threaten B. In that case also, the consent will said to be obtained by coercion. So it is not a free consent. Alright, please take about a minute or two, go through this carefully, and then we proceed. Any question, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Please take a minute more. Please read it carefully. Any questions, please ask me. There are a lot of case laws which come on this in the exam. Carefully go through this. Take about 30 seconds more. Any questions, please ask me. Are we done? Okay, let's proceed. Now, undue influence, that is the second part. Sometimes a party is compelled to enter into a contract against his will as a result of unfair persuasion by the other parties. Section 16 defines undue influence as follows. Contract is said to be induced by undue influence where the relationship subsisting between the parties are such that one of the parties is in position to dominate the will of the other and uses that position to obtain an unfair advantage over the other. So undue influence simply means when one party is in a position to dominate the will of the other and uses that position to their unfair advantage, okay, to obtain the consent of the other person, then that is said to be consent by undue influence. The relationships for undue influence is father and son, teacher and student, boss and employee, master and servant, principal and agent, and many more. Okay, so all of these relationships, one party is able to influence the decision of the other and make them change their mind or obtain a consent from them. Please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Please take about another minute. Let me know once you're done, please. Take about 30 seconds more. Sorry, I've got a cold. Let me know once you're done. Okay, the essentials of undue influence. Okay, so now these are the essential points of an undue influence. There are two persons, A and B. Okay, the relationship are satisfying between them. Okay, that means they are in good relationships. One must dominate the other. So let's say A dominates over B. There must be unfair advantage. So A should have an unfair advantage over B. A should be able to dominate the will of B, and A should have an unfair advantage over B. Let's say A is the boss and B is the employee. Okay, so obviously that gives A an unfair advantage over B and also the will to dominate. It involves moral pressure. So A can also put moral pressure. When there's moral pressure, then it can be even father, son, or teacher, student, right? They can put emotional blackmail or moral pressure. Thus, there is an undue influence between the following persons. Okay, now which are the kind of relationships where there is a undue influence? Principal and agent, superior and subordinate. So in a boss, let's say in a company, there is a CEO and then there is a manager. So CEO can exercise undue influence and moral pressure on the manager. So that is a relationship in which one can dominate the will over the other and take the unfair advantage. Doctor and patient. Now see, whenever it comes to our health, we never risk anything. So whatever the doctor tells us, we don't argue with the doctor. We listen to what he says. So in that case, the doctor at times might also want to take unfair advantage of the situation or his position. All right. Then a father and son. Father and son is again a fiduciary position where a father can exercise emotional pressure on his son. A teacher and student. Teacher can exercise moral pressure on the student. Promoter and company, master and servant, spiritual advisor and devotee. So here are the few of the examples in which the relationship exists where one can dominate the will of the other and obtain an unfair advantage over the other person. Please take 2 minutes, go through this slide. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask me. Please take another minute. Any questions, please ask me. Take another minute. Okay, let's proceed. Fraud. According to section 17, fraud means and includes any of those acts committed by a party to contract or with his connivance. Connivance means with his agreement or consent, or by his agent with an intent to deceive. Now, please remember this is an important term, deceive or induce a person to enter into a contract. So, whenever any act is done with an intent to deceive someone or cheat someone, it is considered as fraud. Okay. The suggestion that the fact is true when it is not true and the person making it does not believe it to be true. I'm selling you the laptop. My laptop, are you willing to buy my laptop for 10,000? My laptop is fabulous. It's got 10 GB RAM, it's got 1 TB hard disk, everything. But I know it's not there. Okay, but I'm trying to tell the other person that it is there to induce him or to deceive him to enter into the contract. So that becomes a fraud. Okay, with the intent. So please remember it's the intent. If I don't do it with the intent to deceive, then it is known as misrepresentation. But if I do it with the intent to deceive someone or cheat someone, then that is known as a fraud. The active concealment of a fact by a person having knowledge or belief of the fact. Okay? The active concealment of a fact by a person having knowledge or belief of the fact. Promise made without any intention of performing it. So I make a promise to someone, you give me this laptop, I'll pay you after 2 months. Pakka. I'll pay you 50,000 for this. I know I'm going to take his laptop and run away and I'm not going to pay him. So that becomes a fraud. So that's a promise made without any intention of performing it. Any other act fitted to deceive. So if any other act is done in order to deceive or cheat someone, then that is known as a fraud. Any such act or omission as the law specially declares to be fraudulent. Okay. So these are your few examples of your fraud transactions. All right. Please take about 2 minutes. Go through this. And let me know. Any questions? Please ask me. Please take a minute more, go through this. All right, please take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Come on. Okay. Okay, now the essentials of fraud. Now, what are the essential elements of a fraud? The essentials of a fraud are there must be a representation or assertion that it must be false. Like if I'm planning to sell my laptop, it's got 10 GB RAM and 1 TB hard disk. I'm giving it to you for 10,000 rupees. Please take it. So I'm asserting something that I know it is not true and I know is false, that my laptop has 10 GB RAM and 1 TB hard disk, whereas it does not have that. All right, so that is an assertion and I know it is false. The representation must relate to a fact. Now, obviously, it must relate to a fact, right? A fact that my laptop has a 10 GB ROM and 1 TB hard disk. I'm saying that it has it, and that's the reason. Even with all that, I'm giving it to you for 10,000 rupees. Okay, so that means I'm trying to deceive you and cheat you. The representation must have been made with the intent of inducing the other party to act on it. Yeah, so I'll be like, see, boss, if normally with this configuration, if you go to the market and all that, and you say you'll get it for about 1 lakh. Okay, but I'm giving it to you just for 10,000 rupees. Okay, it's got 10 GB ROM and 1 TB hard disk. Take it. Don't think so much. So I'm trying to induce you and deceive you and into the transaction. The representation must have been made with the knowledge of its falsity. So I should know very well that what I'm saying is wrong, and it is being done with the whole idea of deceiving or cheating you. The other party must have subsequently suffered some loss, and due to this, when you buy the laptop, you would have incurred a loss. So these are the essential elements of a fraud. Okay, please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Let me know once you're done, please. Any questions, please ask me. Take about 30 seconds more. Are we done? Okay, let's continue. Okay, now the fourth one is misrepresentation. It's similar to fraud, but misrepresentation is normally a mistake. It is not done with the act of deceiving, with the intent of deceiving or cheating someone, but it's a mistake. According to section 18, if there is misrepresentation when a person positively asserts a fact is true when the information he does not warrant it to be so, though he believes it to be true. So he believes something to be true and he tells you that it's true, but actually it's not true. So he's basically got a mistake about the fact. When there is a breach of duty by a person which brings advantage to the person committing it by misleading another to his prejudice. When a party causes, however, innocently the other party to the agreement to make a mistake as to the substance of the thing which is the subject matter of the agreement. So whenever the party is under the influence or a mistake as to the subject matter of the agreement, it is termed as a misrepresentation. Please remember the major difference between a misrepresentation and a fraud is the intent. In a fraud, there is an intent to deceive or cheat someone, but in a misrepresentation, it is not there. It is maybe a mistake about the fact or the subject matter of the agreement, about the existence of the subject matter of an agreement. So in that way, misrepresentation is a slightly, is a lesser wrongdoing than a fraud. Okay, please take about a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Excuse me. getting a cough and a cold. Any questions, please ask. Okay, any questions, please ask. Any questions? Any questions you may have, please ask me. Okay, almost there. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, then the capacity to contract. So the third major element is capacity to contract. Following are the major conditions for a person to enter into a contract. So these, anyone, like I told you, any person in India can enter into a contract, but they should be the conditions are: he must be a major, that means above 18 years of age. He must be of sound mind, and he must be not be disqualified by any of the law. That means he should not be bankrupt or convicted, okay, for any offense. Other than this, anyone in India can enter into a contract. There is no restriction. So a disqualified person to enter into a contract is a minor, a person of unsound mind, and others. That is an alien enemy. That means an alien enemy means a person from an enemy country, or insolvent means bankrupt. Convict means a person who has been convicted or sentenced for any offense committed in India. A company incorporated against the MOA and AOA. Okay, so these are the capacity to contract. Just go through this and then we will look at the individual points in detail. Take about a minute. Take a minute more, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions? Please ask me. Any questions? Please ask me. Take about 30 seconds more. Okay, now minor. According to the Indian Majority Act, Section 3, minor is defined as any person under 18 years of age. In the following cases, a person is said to be a minor if he does not complete 21 years of age. So normally a major in India means a person who has attained 18 years of age. Okay, but there are certain cases in which a person is said to be a major only if he attains 21 years of age. Unsound mind. According to section 12, a person generally sound, occasionally unsound, can enter into a contract when he is of sound mind. So a person who generally is in his senses but at times loses his senses or goes mad. So that means when he is in his senses, he can enter into a contract, but when he is not in his senses, he cannot enter into a contract. A person generally unsound, occasionally sound, can enter into a contract when he is of sound mind. Okay? Persons of unsound mind are lunatics, idiots, drunken or intoxicated persons. So if a person is generally in sound mind and sometimes loses his mind, then the time when he is of sound mind, he can enter into a contract. Or a person who is generally on sound mind, but sometimes he becomes of sound mind. When he becomes a person of sound mind, he can enter into a contract at that time. Please take about 2 minutes, go through the slide. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Please take 2 minutes. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Take about 30 seconds more. All right. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions? Please ask. Okay, let me know once you're done, please. All right, let's proceed. Okay. Now, lawful consideration. According to section 2D, law consideration is defined as when at the desire of the promiser, the promisee or any other person has done or abstained from doing, or does or abstains from doing, or promises to do or abstains to do or abstain from doing something. Such an act of abstinence is known as consideration. So, please remember the consideration should always flow at the desire of the promiser. So whenever the promiser, like for example, if I am saying I'm selling my laptop to you for 10,000, then the other person should either give me 10,000 rupees, or he should abstain from doing something, or promise to give me 10,000 rupees, or promise not to do something. So the whole act of doing something or abstaining from doing something is known as consideration. Please remember, a contract without a valid consideration is void. Okay, and consideration also should be lawful. I cannot say that I'm selling the laptop to you if you go and murder someone. That is an unlawful consideration. So for unlawful consideration, there is no place anywhere in the Indian Contracts Act. Okay, please take a minute, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions? Please ask me. Any questions? Please ask. Any questions? Please ask me. Any questions? Please ask. Okay, let's look at the rules relating to consideration. So like we have rules for everything, let's look at the legal rules for consideration. Consideration must always be provided at the desire of the promisor. Okay, so whenever the promisor wants, that time the consideration must be provided. It may be provided by the promisee or any other person. Now please remember, this is an exception. Now there cannot be a third person to a contract, but there can be a third person to a consideration. That means if the contract is between A and B, C can pay the consideration for that. But if there's a contract between A and B, C cannot sue A or B on that contract because he's not a party to the contract. But please remember, the consideration can always flow from an outsider. The consideration may be past, present, or future. So consideration could already be that something that is paid, or something that is paid right now, or something that will be paid in the future. It need not be adequate, it must be of some value in the eyes of the law. So when the case goes to the court will not see what is the value, that whether the laptop is 10,000 worth or not, but it will just see that okay, 10,000 rupees is the consideration. Now whether 10,000 rupees is valid for that consideration or not, that is not the court's problem. Okay, so there should be some consideration. Whether it's adequate or not, that's a different question. It must be real, certain, and possible. It should not become impossible. Alright, the consideration should always be real, certain, and possible. It must not be illegal, that you'll murder someone, kidnap someone, or rob someone. Or it should not be illegal, immoral, or opposed to public policy. A contract without consideration is void. So every contract needs to have consideration, but there are certain exceptions in which a contract without consideration is valid. We will talk about that, and these are the exceptions. Any contract out of love and affection, promise to pay a time-barred debt, or charity. So these are the exceptions where a contract can be without consideration. Please take about 2 or 3 minutes. Go through this. Any questions? Please ask me. Carefully go through this. Try and understand it. Any questions? Please ask me. Take about 2 minutes. Take about a minute more. Take a minute more, please. Any questions? Please ask me. Okay, are we done? Please take a minute more. Please take 30 seconds more and then we proceed. Okay, now let's look at the next essential of a valid contract, lawful object. Okay, Section 23 of the Indian Contract Act clearly states that the consideration and or object of a contract are considered lawful consideration and or object unless they are. Okay, so basically the object and the consideration of a contract are always considered lawful unless they are specifically forbidden by the law, that means prohibited by the law, then it is unlawful, of such a nature that they would defeat the purpose of the law. If the consideration and the objective is such that they would defeat the purpose of the law, are fraudulent. Okay, so fraudulence or frauds are not accepted anywhere. Are involved injury to any person or property, the courts regard them as immoral and are opposed to public policy. Okay, so if any objects or consideration are anything that are specifically forbidden by law or of such nature that they would defeat the purpose of law, are fraudulent, involve injury to any person or property, the courts regard them as immoral or are opposed to public policy. So lawful consideration and lawful object cannot contain any of the above 5 points. Okay, please take 2 minutes, go through it carefully. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Alright, take a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Go through it carefully. Any questions, please ask. Okay, so now then the agreement should not be expressly declared as void. Okay, I think this is 1 second. Okay, the agreement should not be expressly declared as void. Now, what are the agreements that are expressly declared as void? One is made by incompetent parties, that is less than 18 years, insolvent or convicts. Okay, so if there's any agreement that is made by incompetent contract, then those are expressly declared as void. Agreement in restraint of marriage. So you cannot enter into any agreement with anyone saying that you will not get married to anyone else, but you will get married to me only. Okay, then in that case, that is an agreement in restraint of marriage. So agreement in restraint of marriage are absolutely void. Agreements made under bilateral mistake of fact. So let's say the person A and B entering into a contract for a particular car. Now when they enter into a contract, both of them do not know that the car is already burnt and it's destroyed. It is no more into existence. But they still go ahead and make a contract. So they both are said to be under a bilateral mistake of fact. And so if it's a bilateral mistake of fact, the agreement will be void. Agreement in restraint of trade. Just like your agreement in restraint of marriage, you cannot enter into any agreement with anyone saying that you will not carry on this particular trade or that particular trade. A person is free to carry on whatever trade he wants. Okay, so if there's any agreement which is in restraint of trade, it is expressly declared as void. Agreements, the consideration or object of which is unlawful. So like we discussed earlier, the consideration and objective of all the contracts need to be valid. So if there is any agreement, the consideration or object of which is unlawful, then they become void automatically. Agreement in restraint of legal proceedings, just like marriage and trade, you also cannot restrict someone from taking legal help. If you enter into a contract with someone and say that whatever I do, you're not going to take legal help, then that agreements are expressly declared as void. Every citizen of India has a right to legal help. Okay. Agreement, the consideration or object of which is lawful in part, in unlawful in part. So just like we discussed earlier, if there is any agreement of which the objective and the consideration is unlawful in part, then that agreement is void. So your object and your consideration has to be completely lawful. Agreement, the meaning of which is uncertain. So like we said, a contract has to be certain. If there is any agreement, the meaning of which is uncertain or vague, or people do not understand the definite meaning of it, so obviously the enforceability will be an issue. So in that case, it is a void agreement. Then agreements made without consideration. Like we discussed, every agreement needs to have consideration. So if there are any agreements that are made without consideration, except the exceptions, the 4 exceptions, they are all void. So every agreement needs to have a lawful consideration. Wagering agreements is basically in the sort of betting agreements. Okay, so betting agreements are void, and in case you say that India will win the match or will lose the match and you bet on it, that agreement is void and it is not enforceable at all. And agreements to do impossible acts are expressly declared as void, like we see in our Hindi movies, Bollywood movies. The hero tells the heroine that I will bring the stars for you, I'll bring the moon for you. That's actually not possible, right? So if there is any contract which is there to do impossible acts, then it becomes an agreement that is expressly declared as void. Okay, please take 2 minutes, go through this. Let me know once you're done, please. Any questions, please ask. Please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Dominator. Please take a minute more. Okay, and the last one, the wagering agreement. Like I told you, wagering agreements and the nature of betting agreements. So these agreements are expressly declared as void. So let's quickly have a look at what are wagering agreements. An agreement by way of a wager is void if it is an agreement involving payment of a sum of money upon the determination of an uncertain event. The essence of the wager is that each side should stand or to win or lose depending on the way an uncertain event takes place in reference to which the chance is taken and in the occurrence of which neither of the party has legitimate interest. So let's say there is an agreement that if it rains today I pay you 500, if it doesn't rain you pay me 500. So both the parties do not have the interest in the rain, right? So it's completely a pure kind of a betting kind of an agreement. So any kind of wagering agreement which is in the nature of a betting agreement, which either one party has to win or lose, okay, but both the parties do not have an interest in that event, then in that particular case it will be a wagering agreement and it will be expressly declared as a void. Example, A agrees to pay rupees 50,000 to B if it rains and B promises to pay a like amount to A if it does not rain. The agreement will be by way of a wager. But if one of the parties has control over the event, then the agreement is not a wager. So if it's a simple agreement like if it rains I give you 10,000, if it doesn't rain you give me 10,000, it's a wagering agreement. But if either of the parties have the control on that event, that is rain, then it is not a wagering agreement. So the whole deciding factor here is that none of the parties have a control on the uncertain event, and that is why it is a wagering agreement. Please take about a minute, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Please take a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. All right, any questions, please ask me. Go through it carefully. Take a minute more. All right, any questions, please ask me. This is about wagering agreement. So today we've discussed the entire thing on essential elements of a valid contract. We started off with valid offer and acceptance, free consent, lawful consideration, lawful object, not expressly declared as void, and then we discussed all the agreements that are not lawfully described as void, and then we're ending it with wagering agreements. Okay. So take about 30 seconds more and then we end today's session. This will be the last slide for the day. All right, are we done? Okay, so with that, we will be ending this session. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount of 10% on the listed price of your Plus courses. All right, and come let's crack CA exams with Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience, and I will see you around soon. Thank you.